I want to discuss a case that seems at first glance both legally contradictory and politically perplexing. Two Albanian women, lesbians, were granted asylum in the UK on human rights grounds, and this despite Albania having legal protections for LGBT people, having decriminalised homosexuality in 1995, enacted anti-discrimination laws, and hosted pride parades in its capital, in Tirana. The Home Office objected, the tabloids bristled, but the tribunal judge overruled. Why? So let's begin with the facts. The couple from Shkoda in northern Albania claim that they were abducted, assaulted, and abused after being seen kissing in public. They were also victims of trafficking. Their barristers conceded that homosexuality is not illegal in Albania, but they argued crucially that it was irrelevant. The key issue was not the law, but the lived reality. And the judge, Rebecca Chapman, ruled that the pair had well-founded fear of persecution and could not be reasonably expected to relocate within a country as small and as culturally uniform as Albania. But here we meet the first paradox. The Home Office pointed out correctly that hate crimes happen even in tolerant democracies. They argued that what happened in one town shouldn't reflect the whole country. Albania, they said, has protections. So does Britain. Yet gay bashing still occurs on the streets of London. The logic of the tribunal, however, rests not on legal text, but on empirical vulnerability. Albania might look good on paper, but the social conservatism, especially outside Tirana, is entrenched. Laws may be written in Latin characters, prejudice is carved in stone. A 2022 nationwide survey revealed that only 12.5% of Albanians would accept an LGBT person as a friend, just 9.3% as their doctor. Religious pressure has derailed constitutional protections, and same-sex unions remain unrecognised. The Anti-Discrimination Commissioner has been accused of inertia and ineffectiveness, and while it is illegal to discriminate, the implementation is, to borrow a British understatement, patchy. The women had no family left, no psychological support, no realistic avenue for starting anew. Their trauma was compounded by Albania's cultural climate, which labels queerness as a Western import and views survivors of trafficking as culpable. Predictably, the British press erupted. How can this be? Thundered the tabloids. Lesbian asylum in a legal country, screamed the headlines, and yes, it does look contradictory. If one reduces asylum to mere legality, but that's how refugee law works. The 1951 Refugee Convention and UK policy both acknowledge de facto persecution. You have to be legally protected in theory. You may be legally protected in theory, but still unsafe in practice. And gay marriage is legal in the United States, yet young people are shot for holding hands. So on the same principle that we should be granting asylum to lesbians from Albania, we should also be granting asylum to gay people from America. Now, how many Americans have been granted asylum in Britain for being gay? It's easy to forget the humans at the centre of this debate, of course. These women are not symbols. They're educated, traumatised and feared for their lives. Their relationship may be legal in Albania, but it also made them targets. The judge's decision, whether politically unpopular or not, upheld a basic tenet of human rights. Safety is not theoretical. But there are questions to be asked. Does this ruling open the floodgates for asylum seekers from every conservative country? Can individual persecution be extrapolated to national risk? And why, if Albania is so advanced legally, are its citizens fleeing on the basis of their identity? The answer lies in the gap between legislation and enforcement, between urban policy and rural hostility. It also lies in the culture of shame that surrounds trauma, especially when tied to sexuality and gender. So yes, on paper, this asylum ruling seems bizarre. I think it is bizarre. But law doesn't live on paper, it lives on or in experience. And if Britain wishes to remain a sanctuary for the persecuted, we must understand that legality is not a substitute for liberty. Asylum is not about whether the country has laws, it's about whether you have a life. I find this story perplexing. I've lived in Albania, I've been to Albania, I know Albania well, and my experience of Albania across quite a large swathe of the country is that it's a very tolerant and welcoming country. Now, I can't speak for the lived experience of two women who have been mugged, persecuted, threatened, and forced to flee their own country. But I raise an eyebrow, and I come back to the same question. If we are giving asylum to people from Albania because they are gay, have we given asylum to people from America?